Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans, and we had a really, really good live stream earlier tonight. I had Johan on, and we had a couple of hours discussing things, and the side chat was very active and cracker. Thank you, Johan. Good, well done. Now, this video that's attached here is part of the unfolding tragedy of modern South Africa. It's not only the whites who have been impacted by BEE, but as you will see in this video that's attached, and you'll notice the guy from Gauteng in this video, the coloreds are being very, very badly affected by the actions of the ANC and their bureaucrats in disempowering them. Now, when you consider the coloreds are the traditional landowners of the Cape, the Western Cape, where these people live, and what's happening is that thousands of blacks are being shipped in from the Eastern Cape, east of Grahamstown, and they're grabbing all the jobs, and the coloreds are being left unemployed. So there's a huge amount of anger growing amongst that colored population. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, and have a good evening.
Yeah, Jimmy Money's overdue for an ass whooping also for saying that. But anyway,
I agree.
That huge boulder aside, as Friday mentioned early on, or as we'll speak in the corner over here, when the ANC in 1994 lost the Western Cape to the National Party, it hurt them so badly that they embarked on the Africanization project of the Western Cape. Part of that was economically crippling the colored community out here. So they started with, number one, closing the textile industry. Everybody knows that the textile industry was found in the Western Cape, specifically Cape Town. The Western Cape was the hub and hive and capital of the textile industry back in the 80s especially.
They put our mothers and aunts, the best seamstresses in the world, out of work without thinking about it.
Absolutely. Number one, that's what they did. Shut down the textile industry to economically disempower us, colored people. Number two, they closed down the training schools for artisans, which employed our grandfathers, our fathers, and our uncles. Everybody knows when you talk about artisans and artisanal skills, the men who built this country as artisans were colored men from the Cape. We all know that colored men from the Cape 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago traversed the country, building the country, whether it was power stations, railway lines, new buildings. Those were colored artisans that built the whole country. Don't believe me? Ask Moletsi Mbeki. Moletsi Mbeki was on SFM 2 years ago, speaking to Sakina Komwendo about this very crisis and shortage of artisanal skills. That's why 2013, Gwede Mantashe named 2013 the year of the artisan, in a plight and an attempt to get young people interested in taking artisanal training. What did Moletsi Mbeki say in that interview on SFM with Sakina Komwendo? He said the skills we so desperately need today are unfortunately sitting with old and retired colored men. The ANC shut down the artisanal training colleges as another phase, another part of disempowering economic colored people. Before I get to you, another part.
I'm not forgetting what Moletsi Mbeki was half right. Old and retired colored men have the skills. But here's the part that government ignores, that these are generational skills. They pass it to their sons, they pass it to their grandsons. So the skills are still there. You just refuse to fucking employ us.
Amen to that. And then another area that's been heavily attacked in terms of colored economy and livelihood and sustainability is fishing. Now we all know, right around the coast of South Africa, the people who were heavily involved in the fishing industry as people of color were colored people. most especially in the Western and Northern Cape. But let's talk about the Western Cape quickly. It has become increasingly popular for fishermen of old and their sons today to not be given permits to go out and fish. That is why I had an incident a few weeks ago with a young coloured man in Hout Bay went and caught fish illegally and got shot and murdered for it by SAPS. He wasn't killed, he was murdered by SAPS for going to go and fish, trying to provide food for him, because as you all know, it is illegal now for coloured people to get quotas for fishing, and entire fishing communities right around the coast of the Western Cape have been decimated by this new quota system. Isn't it interesting, South Africa, that we all know that in the Western Cape, the fishermen were the coloured men from days of old who now have to apply to get a permit for a black South African that's moved down here, with respect, from the Eastern Cape, the Northwest KZN, that knows probably nothing about fishing and the fishing industry. Interesting that should happen in this day and age. But as you can see, it's a systematic economic war waged against coloured people.